All right, welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Come True Outtake. You can catch us every week right here on YouTube and other social media outlets. You can also catch our Fantasy Football Come True every week on Tobacco Road Sports Radio every Saturday morning at 8:30. That's the show that I host, the Fantasy Football Come True Outtake. This show right here, these guys, B. Foster, Ron Fun, they don't need a host. Why? Because they don't. They're going to tell you what the deal is each week, what players they're putting their bread on. So here we go. Fantasy Football Come True Outtake. B. Foster, Ron Fun. It's on you, baby.
So, so this week we got a short week. We got a lot happening this week. It's Thanksgiving. We got the Thursday night games. We got all sorts of stuff going. We got kids running around. We got all sorts of stuff. So this
Yeah,
week,
we're recording this on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 7 p.m. if you're watching this. So just FYI.
so we're gonna have a little fun, and we're gonna be real with y'all, but just know that a lot of our stuff can change between Wednesday and Sunday, just like things changed last week between the time we record and Sunday. Um, but before we get into players, B, I really been wanting to address Rod Cole, Twitter handle at RODCOLE at Rod Cole. He's been asking us about these Eagles and the NFC lease. He's a Northeast guy. What you think about these Eagles, man? Are they gonna be able to? Are they gonna? What they gonna do, bro? They gonna bench Wentz? What they gonna win? They gonna win the division? They gonna lose the division? What they gonna do?
So your boy Rod Cole is a straight comedian out here, man. I believe he's only asking so he can to control his boy Ken Roach, man. That's really the only reason he asking about this, man. So, but we gonna give him what he want. We'll give him what he want, man. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you answer this question. I'm gonna let you answer this, Ron. So the Eagles, let me just give you a peek. They got 6 more games. Okay, I'm gonna give you a peek into their next 4 games. You tell me which one of these you think they win. Seattle Seahawks,
Mm,
the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay,
mm,
the New Orleans Saints,
mm,
the Arizona Cardinals.
mm.
I ain't found one yet. I haven't found one yet. I'm just, when we get to one, they gonna win. You can let you can let me know. But I haven't found one yet, cause then they get in Dallas. They go to Dallas. They might have a shot in that one, and then they go. Now they come. The Washington football team comes to Philly in the last game, week 17.
Ooh,
That's their schedule.
ooh.
Uh, so hey,
They might have two. They
they,
be they be lucky if they get 2 wins out of this. They be lucky.
listen, and that's the two at the end against the division, man. I think these Giants, the team that most people pick to finish last, been playing well lately. I think they may end up coming out of the division, man. Uh, they get like they get Cincinnati this week with Cincinnati called me for a trial, play quarterback. I told them I couldn't make it. I was with my family, so they got something named Brandon Allen starting the quarterback. So the Giants, the Giants look like they're gonna be in good shape here going forward, man. They may end up coming out with this thing.
Yeah, the Giants play the Cowgirls, and then the Giants play the Browns. I know the Browns' record says that they're good, but the Browns have not played anyone of notable uh, anything except for the Colts. Colts is the only one they played the Bengals twice, and they played who else? They played the Washington football team. They played the Cowboys. They played Houston. Okay, cool. They played the Jaguars, or are going to play the Jaguars. Like Cleveland, man, y'all are fakers. Y'all might make the playoffs with your fakers this year. And I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but I want to get back to the NFC least.
Yeah.
Um, that the Giants have a chance, but I also think the Cowboys, I mean, um, have a chance to actually win that division based on their play last Sunday versus the Vikings, man. They look like they found an offense again in the absence of Dak. And if they can play defense, man, they might be able to actually pull this out.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys, man, they actually have probably the easiest path to get there. They play my football team tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Then they get Baltimore. But Baltimore having that game moved is a big deal for them because they got to play on Thursday night. They play on Thursday night next week, Dallas and Baltimore. So Dallas will get their full week. Baltimore won't get their full week because their game got moved. Then they get Cincinnati, San Fran, Philly, and the Giants. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. They run the table. With the way they started, that would be crazy if they did that. But I think it's possible. I tell you one thing, it'll be the worst thing that could happen if the Washington football team ended up winning the division. That'd be the worst thing that could possibly happen to that franchise. It'd be hustling backwards, man. Hustling backwards out here, man.
So you want the number 1 draft pick in that division, whoever. Man,
it ain't got. I think the Jets got the number 1 overall pick on lock. But man, I need to be in that top 5, man, because I got to get my franchise quarterback, man. I need to be in that top 5. It's crazy. I can go from hosting a home playoff game or being a top 5 pick. That's the how bad the NFC lease is, man. That's what we're looking at. I'd rather have that top 5 pick.
I understand. All right, Rod Fun, what you got anything to say before we move on to the players, man? What he talking bad about your Cowboys? You got anything before we go on?
Man, I'm ready to talk bad about my Cowboys myself, but because we're talking about Rodney Cole out there, Rodney Cole, my boy, he an Eagles man, but I got to let you know, Rodney Cole, I don't see the Eagles winning it, man. I think if anybody wins it, it might be them Giants. Seriously, I don't even know if my Cowboys could do it. But I believe that the Eagles will not be the ones hosting a playoff game in the city of brotherly love. It's just not going to happen. Rod Cole, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Normally they kill the messenger, but in this case, we in COVID-19, so you can't see me and you can't do me no harm. Okay, so Philadelphia Eagles, in the words of the Mafia boys, forget about it.
Yeah, man. I think Rod Cole also liked them Packers. He liked them Packers too. He's a closet Packers fan or outright Packers fan too.
Yeah, that's his squad, man. He feeling good right now.
Yeah, they ain't got to see San Francisco this year. They ain't gonna see San Francisco.
No doubt. Well, where y'all putting your bread at this week? Where your money going on some fantasy footballers?
Man, this week the research changes, man. But B. Foster said it the best. He got him the best quarterback. Who your quarterback be?
So man, I think I'm going down cheap, man, again, and I'm going down to Derek Carr. Derek Carr is 5,700, playing the Falcons in Atlanta. I get a 50-point total. I get the team that's one of the worst teams in the league against quarterbacks. They let Taysom Hill show out last week. They let Drew Lock show out a couple weeks before that. And just go down the line, man. Everybody has pretty much put up numbers against the Falcons. It's been a common rule in fantasy football. You play running backs against the Falcons, but they've kind of remedied that this year. They got their safety Neal back, who kind of plays in the box a little bit, has been better containing those running backs out of the backfield. So they've been actually pretty good against running backs. And it's force teams to pass more, and their pass defense is pretty terrible. So I'm pretty much almost locking Derek Carr, man. And if I'm locking Derek Carr, I'm going to lock his number 1 weapon as well, and Darren Waller, because not only are the Falcons bad against quarterbacks, they're terrible against tight ends too. And typically, we've been paying down at tight end because they haven't done nothing all season. But I think this is the week we can pay up at tight end and get an advantage at that spot versus the field, just because he pairs well with Carr.
I don't disagree with that, man. But if you do want to pay down at tight end, Ingram's not too bad. Evan Ingram's not too bad going against the weak Cincinnati Bengals. And it seems like Evan Ingram is getting the targets, minus against the Eagles. He's getting the targets.
So here's my dilemma with the Giants. Okay. They play the Bengals with Brandon Allen, right?
Yep.
I like Eli, not Eli, Eli. Them boys look, man. Them boys look almost alike, man. What's your boy name, man? Daniel Jones, man.
Same coach.
Dude.
Same coach.
Yeah, yeah. I like Daniel Jones a little bit less than Carr. He's only 55. I like Daniel Jones. I like Sterling Shepard at only 51. I like Darius Slayton at only 49. I like Wayne Gallman at 5,000.
Yeah.
But I can't play two. I can't play more than two. I don't really want to play but one. But I can't play more than two Giants in the lineup. The question is, which two do I want? You know, I'm leaning towards Gallman, just because I don't see any running backs out there outside of Dalvin Cook that I really love this week. Gallman's continued to get carries, and if they jump out to a big lead, which I expect them to jump out to a lead, and they just let Gallman eat, for most of the game. And at only 5,000, I kind of like that. So that's the only reason why I haven't looked at their pass catchers. But, as you said, they're getting targets and they're playing against a bad team. So you never know.
Yeah. No, I like it, man. I like it. Again, this is how we think about stuff. We think of the game script, and B. Foss, I talked to you earlier about Patrick Mahomes at 8,000. I don't like him at 8,000, but I know he's playing a game where they got to score some points against Tampa Bay. And I also feel like Tampa Bay's defense is so good that they know how to adjust to slow down Patrick Mahomes. And slowing down Patrick Mahomes just means he's not throwing deep bombs, but that means he's throwing more passes, and he's super accurate and super efficient. So given the scoring mechanism, you throw 10 passes, that doesn't really help the quarterback, but 10 passes helps your pass catchers. So I'm actually liking Tyreek Hill and Kelsey in this game against a stout defense of the Bucs, just because I feel like he's going to have more plays. So,
I like that. I like that call. So we saw Jared Goff against Tampa Bay on Monday night. Tampa Bay, really good run defense, really stout front seven there. And we saw Goff, a bunch of quick passes, the Cup, bunch of quick passes, the Woods. Both of them boys had 10 plus catches, over 100 yards, both of them. So man, yeah, you're never afraid of Mahomes against anybody most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So I like even coming all the way down to Denard Robinson at only 3,700. If you got, which they've been using Tyreek in some shorter stuff more than usual this year. So I like Tyreek, but I like Denard Robinson too, man. At only 3,700, he's playing a bunch of snaps. He played like 80% of the snaps past few weeks. Now Sammy Watkins has been hurt. Sammy Watkins should be healthy this week. Sammy Watkins should come back. But there's another kid, Byron Pringle, who just got put on the COVID list. So I think that keeps Denard Robinson in play. Miko Hardman is kind of, a lot of people want to see him do well, but I don't know if he hasn't picked up the playbook. Hey, he's not playing hard in practice or something, but Andy Reid doesn't seem to to like getting them on the field as much as some of these other guys, man. So I like grabbing maybe a cheap option, a cheap piece of that Mahomes work with Denard Robinson, just somebody for you to think about there too.
Okay, I like that. Again, we just showing our fans how we think about different things, like different optionality, how you create value in your lineups. Talking about it. This is kind of early. We need to do some more work to substantiate some of these things, but you got to think about the game scripts and what does that mean for the players. You know, I'm gonna give you one I was off with last week, and I think everybody is always off on this one. B. We're always off when it comes to Derrick Henry. Okay, like the formulas don't work for Derrick Henry. I'm still probably not gonna play Derrick Henry this week against the Colts, but like mathematics, because he doesn't catch balls out the backfield, you know, math says you don't play Derrick Henry or et cetera. But like, yo, last week this man still put up crazy points.
Well, that's because the reason that you play Derrick Henry is because you decide which cornerbacks and outside linebackers prefer making business decisions when they face him. That's the whole reason you play Derrick Henry. Once you know they're gonna make them business decisions, you play him. It don't matter. That boy's a beast.
I mean,
so the Derrick Henry thing is interesting. So Derrick Henry had 23 points last week, right? If that game does not go to overtime, Derrick Henry ends with 14
or less.
Or less, yeah. And we might be talking a little different here. But he has the Colts this week. Beatable. I will say that we're getting to the point where Derrick Henry will be an every week play. I'm with you. I'm probably not going to go there this week. But I saw a stat, man, that showed Derrick Henry's like yards per carry and yards per game by month. And in September or October, it's like 80 yards a game, 4 yards per carry. In October, it might be 85, 90 yards a game, 4.2 yards. Get to November, it jumps up to 95, 100 yards a game, 4.5, 5 yards a carry. But when you get to December and January, them numbers explode, man. When you get to them cold weather games, and it hurts to try to tackle somebody, and teams want to run the football more, man. So as we get to this colder weather, I think Derrick Henry becomes more of an option for us. But again, it's like you said, we got to think about game scripts, man, and game scripts where we anticipate Tennessee playing from ahead. But Derrick Henry's just a different beast, man. Sometimes, like you said, you got to throw the logic out the window, man, and just play him. I think he's a great tournament play every week because a lot of people don't play him.
Yeah. So I know we keep these outtakes kind of short. Any place else you want to go before we cut it, or education? What do you want to do?
Like you said, it's early. It's only Wednesday. It's Wednesday night. Stuff could change. One thing I'm pretty confident that won't change is your lineup should come preloaded with Dalvin Cook. So lock him. Every lineup you make, everyone. I don't care. Whatever. You start your you get 50,000 salary cap. You starting with 41.5 this week because you're paying 95 for Dalvin Cook. And to take it a step further, if Alan Thielen is ruled out, then you're locking Justin Jefferson too. So against the Panthers.
And Thielen would be ruled out as due to COVID, right?
Yeah, he's on the COVID list. I think he's got a few days. It's interesting because he took one test that came out positive, took another test, came out negative. So I think if he gets he has to have like 2 back-to-back negative tests, and then he'll be cleared to play. So definitely keep an eye on that. If he plays, he's still an option, and Jefferson is still an option. But if he doesn't play, I mean, Jefferson is just a smash play.
Okay. I love it, man. I love it. Let me ask you about somebody that came out of nowhere last week, man. The last couple weeks. Pittman. Like, he showed up last week pretty cheap, but he produced. Was he just a one-hit wonder, or is he somebody you need to keep on your radar screen if you're looking for cheap wide receivers moving the rest of the season?
Yeah, nah, I don't think he's a one-hit wonder at all, man. I thought about playing him early in the week. I had him last week. Was going to play him. Ended up coming off of him after some other things happened. But I liked him last week at 4,500. This week I think he's up to 5,000. Even though I liked him last week and he paid off last week, I was disappointed he only got 3 targets. 3 targets. So if you played him last week, you kind of got lucky. You know, if we're being honest now, you got to look at this thing realistically. 3 targets is not what we want. We don't want to play anybody that's getting 3 targets, man. Even though he had 3 targets, he had 3 catches, 66 yards, and a touch. So, I mean, he paid off 15 points for you. So, I mean, that's very good at 4,500. But I 3 targets, you can't expect that. You can't expect 66 yards and a touchdown on 3 targets. That's an outlier performance. And they got so many, Phil like to spread that thing around, man. He's got, old man T.Y. Hilton, but he's still there. He's got these 3 tight ends, Burton, Mo Wiley Cox, Doyle, Naheem Hines, your man Jonathan Taylor. He spreads that thing around, man. We don't know where the work's going, man. We like to stick to these teams and these offenses where we know, yeah, these are the guys that are getting fed the rock every week, man. So that's what we want to kind of stick to.
Okay, that's why I brought it up. It felt like an outlier to me last week.
Yeah. No, he's had some very good weeks, man. And I think what happened, man, if you look back at past weeks, man, it's been several guys out. T.Y.'s been a little banged up. You had a tight. Doyle's been out a couple times. Just pieces of the offense have been hurt, and I think he's a good player now. He's a good player, but just don't have the confidence right now in him getting as many touches as we want.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Again, this is the Outtakes, the early edition. Rob, fun. What you want to do? You want to close this out?
Yeah, man. Hey, it's been enjoyable. Tomorrow, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, man, and y'all be safe wherever you're going. And everybody out there listening, you heard it right here on Outtake. So make sure you take heed to it. B. Foster, Ron Fun, they giving you what they do right here on Fantasy Football Come True Outtake. So don't forget also to catch our full 30-minute show every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. That's the show that puts money in your pocket. Fantasy Football Come True Outtake. That's us. Holla.
Y'all guys be good.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man.